You like trains? This is the question that I keep getting over and over again from friends and family members because for years I kind of put having a train set, playing with model trains, like building out model trains, all things model trains for years. I just haven't been able to do it. And finally, at 30 years old, I'm building a proper model railroad, and that is the McKinley Model Railroad. The backstory is I had access to model trains as a kid. Actually, as a kid, this was my first proper model train set. It was the Toy Story freight train set that included track, and it was an HO, and it's what got me started from age 6 or 7 maybe. And then from then on, it started to grow. So I had probably like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, I would assume, that my dad helped me set up to get this running. And then my mom's dad, my grandpa, had other HO track, and I was able to build this big proper, well, I shouldn't say proper, for a kid, proper train table, and I just ran this set over and over and over again. And I was very fortunate as a kid to get to ride a couple trains. And as you do, if you ride a train, it's really exciting to have a model of that. So the first one that I remember was the Durango Silverton. This was a really exciting summer trip that I got to do with my family. Got to ride this train. If you rode it, you know it is an incredible trip through the Rockies. I remember we got this car and a VCR, like little documentary of the railroad, and I played that VCR over and over and over again. I can still hear the swoosh, 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 swoosh of the engine firing up from not moving to moving, and it just being incredible. So this was the first, and then there was more. I remember boarding somewhere and winding our way through the desert and eventually ending up at the Grand Canyon. Fun fact, had the best Caesar salad I think I've ever had at the end of the line at the rim of the Grand Canyon as a kid. A little later, got to ride the Strasburg, which I believe is in Pennsylvania. And I remember that one being a little closer to where we're at here in Ohio. These were great, but none of these compared to the most memorable train I got to ride when I was a kid. That train by far was the Mckinley Explorer. And after I got to ride this train, came back, got the set for Christmas, and that railroad still holds a spot in my brain. I think about it all the time, and that is what ultimately led me to want to build a model railroad around this. And I did that in my parents' basement when I was a preteen and teenager, but lacked the funds and the know-how to really do what I wanted. Here's kind of a short clip of that layout. It was 13 feet long, had 2 ovals on each end, and then kind of bowed in towards the back and the center. But that was really cool. I did get to learn foam and plaster, built a mining kit that was really cool, and got to learn some of the basics with that. I actually built that layout with this kit and still have a bunch of supplies from it. This was pretty cool. But yeah, that leads us to today. Fast forward from probably age like 13, 14 to 30, life happened. High school and college, I was just doing other things. And recently we bought our first home, and I had a basement, and I thought this should be the time to finally get back into it, and I dove head first. And I'm so excited to be doing an Alaskan layout the way I wanted to do it years ago, and that is the McKinley Model Railroad, which you can see behind me is coming along, but it's not done, and I'm just itching to get it up and running. This is one of the locomotives from the Bachmann set. Ended up going on bachmannparts.com, and this was the original shell that was on this bad boy. I can't find a photo of it, but I'm almost certain that the McKinley Explorer, when I wrote it, wasn't being pulled by a GP40. It was being pulled by an SD70 Mac. And after a lot of searching and losing multiple times on eBay to higher bidders, I finally won. I finally won an SD70 Mac, and I think this thing is just the coolest. All of these are DC. I've really dove into the rabbit hole of going DCC, or maybe going some of the alternative routes. Right now, I'm leaning towards doing the Blue Nami, putting the Blue Nami in both of these units so that I can run two at one time via my phone. If you have any opinions on Blue Nami, please leave those in the comments down below. But yeah, I'm just so excited. It's been a really fun hobby to dive back into. And to be honest, I don't really know a whole lot of people in the hobby right now. I've reached out to the local club here in my town, and I haven't really heard back, and they're not doing a whole lot right now. So hopefully that picks up. But in the meantime, I'm really excited to share this with folks on YouTube, and just have videos of this build and share this build, and share this passion I have for model trains. So subscribe to see future updates. If you haven't already, there's 2 updates where I kind of show like starting from scratch, and I plan to continue to upload videos of the build process to when it's done, and then some videos of some trains running, which I cannot wait. It's gonna be cool. So subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks. And one more quick thing. As you probably already know, model trains get really expensive really fast. Don't tell my wife how much I've probably spent already. But to support this layout and these videos, I went ahead and created this mug, which is actually like a graphic that incorporates this locomotive, which I thought was really cool because this is going to be like a mainstay on the layout. And then it's got the Mckinley Ridge graphic logo, all that. It's a really cool mug. I use it all the time. It's a free gift for my Patreon members at the mug tier. And yeah, you can check it out in the link down below.